Mark Consuelos' diagnosis causes Kelly Ripa to cry. Pleased to meet you all here on my channel. I wishing you everyone a wonderful day. Make sure you subscribe before we start by clicking the icon. A departure was imminent for Mark, a coat draped over his sleeve. The moment his coffee had turned stale, his phone started ringing. A number for the clinic appeared on the screen. As soon as he heard the other person's voice, his nonchalant hey disappeared. Very careful, very skilled at breaking bad news in a way that prevents things from completely wrecking. The voice was cold and clinical. It subsided afterwards. Your analysis has returned. I apologize, the doctor said. A diagnosis must be considered. The impact of that single word, diagnostic, was like a shard of glass breaking. The usual calm of the corridor on a Tuesday morning was shattered by the words. Mark slumped upon the bottom step, disregarded his mediocre coffee. Oncologists, tests, staging, appointments, and medical language were beginning to engulf him, and he felt his life crumbling apart. He took a deep breath and practiced his plan to inform Kelly, the lady whose name had become an antonym for home due to their long-term relationship. Just like he faced their mutual love of comedy, he would confront this dilemma. While in the kitchen, Kelly dictated pieces for the morning program into a recorder. She aims for an orderly, lively voice. Her features and the controlled expression she had when she was in charge were lit up by the light streaming in through the window. Upon entering, Mark advised her to take a seat, saying that it is easier to hear terrible news while seated. In a moment, she lost sight of her clipboard and checklist. Observing his breath and the slight trembling in his hand, she only observed him for an instant. She eventually inquired, her voice barely audible. What did they say? They went to the clinic without any music playing in the car. From outside the vehicle, the city appeared unconcerned, going about one's daily routine. Within the car, it felt like time squished together. Without saying a word, Kelly's affection was communicated by an instinctual gesture, taking his hand across the console. He gently retracted her fingers while muttering, "I'll be all right." Even if they were in the dark about what okay meant, he intended it as a promise. The oncologist's soothing yet practical remarks struck a balance between frightening and reassuring in the cramped office. Therapeutic choices, prognosis, clinical tumor, and biopsy findings were the key terms. Yet, the language soon started to sound more human. The focus wasn't merely on numerical data and prevalence rates. There was a lot of nuanced math involved in dealing with children, reworking daily routines, and managing a household. Mark took it all in like a person committing a fresh treatment road plan to memory, consequences, as well as schedules. Kelly took on the position of family navigator and was the one who asked the questions. Kelly made a brief speech that night from their living room. Everything about it was unprocessed and natural. There was no effort to seem austere, no prim and proper demeanor, and no camera-ready gloss. Because she let it, her voice cracked. First, we wanted to let you know. We have received Mark's diagnosis. She pointed out, we are so grateful for your prayers and thoughtfulness as we find our footing. There was no news release. A basic human need for space, that was the fact. Instantaneously, their private lives became public as the message reached millions. That was the response. Comments were flooding in. Their doorstep was greeted with meals, emails, bouquets, and social media updates poured in. Individuals they had only ever interacted with via media such as videos and audio clips expressed their personal experiences of coping, anxiety, and guidance. People were quite kind and offered to assist out with things like school runs and other errands. Another current, however, was present. The comments, speculation, and gossip that gnaws at the corners of a public story. Kelly gracefully handled the well-intentioned condolences, intrusive questions about the situation, and uncomfortable feelings while fiercely safeguarding her family's privacy. Over the next several weeks, therapy became an integral part of daily life. Every detail of the chemotherapy rounds was carefully planned. Like weather reports, scans were evaluated. A clinical detachment was used to process the blood test results. Certain physical changes occurred in Mark. On Sunday mornings, he would wake up physically exhausted and often sick to his stomach. His pillow revealed thinning hair, and for a time, every reflection revealed his altered reality. However, there were deep pockets of affection amidst the little betrayals of the sickness. Someone came across his beloved jumper and gave it to him. Over his bed, he saw a message that read, "We love you, Dad," was written by one of his children. Kelly became an unexpectedly approachable heroine, and the entertainment industry took notice. Her honest feelings, which occasionally surfaced in public, moved the focus from dramatic headlines to the strength of the human spirit. Despite the fact that celebrities in this field are notoriously private, Kelly Ripa and Mark Conwellis have maintained a reputation for candor and transparency with their fans. Sharing love, family memories, and life's adventures has made them a beloved couple. Kelly Ripa's reaction shocked and saddened people when she revealed her fragility and strength in the face of her husband Mark Consuelos' cancer diagnosis. Friends, co-workers, and fans were all taken aback by the sad news of Mark Consuelos' illness. Both Hollywood insiders and fans who had followed the couple for years were shocked by the prognosis, as the beloved actor was well known for his roles in All My Children and as co-host of Live with Kelly and Mark. The couple was understandably devastated by the news of Mark's abrupt diagnosis. The revelation undoubtedly caused Kelly, who is famously self-assured and powerful, to experience an insurmountable surge of intense emotions. Through the highs and lows of their professions, the couple who had been together for decades maintained an optimistic and strong face. Nothing else had the personal impact of my health battle. During a touching episode on Live with Kelly and Mark, Kelly's emotional anguish was evident as she responded with tears. Kelly exposed a weakness to her viewers when Mark's situation was only starting off. Seldom beheld. Her words were as raw as the agony she was feeling for her husband, and she confessed it with tears streaming down her face. Kelly told the audience, "I just feel this incredible sense of helplessness," her voice breaking as she struggled to contain her emotions. "My world revolves on Mark. Seeing him confront this is unlike anything I've ever seen before. His tenacity and perseverance have always inspired me. That's tragic." As she showed her husband her true feelings, fear, love, and support, viewers around the world were moved to tears. There was no effort on her part to put on an act or deny the gravity of the situation. She just showed her emotions. She became much more relatable to her audience when she allowed herself to be vulnerable, putting the duo through their paces. For Kelly, the moment of sorrow that was Mark Consuelos' diagnosis was far from over. They had to pull themselves together as they ventured into the uncharted realm of treatment, recuperation, and maintaining their family's regular schedule, which was no easy feat. This news marked a significant change in Kelly's personal and professional life. She is known for being the lively and humorous host of Live with Kelly and Mark. She had shifted her attention away from the show. Their focus was on providing for Mark, their kids, and their extended family. Kelly acknowledged the significance of the public's and her fans' support during this challenging time in her heartfelt answer. As she thanked everyone for their prayers and well wishes, she said that the support she had received had been incredible. She went on to say that she and Mark were relieved to know they weren't in this fight alone. Even though Mark didn't tell anyone about his illness, Kelly's candor helped viewers understand the mental toll it took. Many people could relate to her story since she was open and honest about her issues with health and the difficulties of caring for a loved one. An optimistic voyage. In spite of the initial shock and sadness caused by Mark's diagnosis, the couple's story became one of perseverance, power, and optimism. Focusing on their mutual love and inner strength, Kelly remained Mark's rock. Their bond, strengthened by shared experiences over the years, served as an inspiration to those going through tough times. Kelly and Mark emphasized the value of maintaining an optimistic outlook in subsequent interviews, even when confronted with adversity such as cancer. In order to ensure that Mark had the necessary support during his treatment and rehabilitation, his loved ones and the medical staff came together in a heroic effort. Kelly's devastating emotional response highlighted the value of love and the importance of working together in the face of hardship. They became even more devoted to each other and their family as they dealt with the devastating news. The effect on audience members. Following Mark Consuelos' cancer news, Kelly Ripa's heartfelt reaction moved many fans. What made her so vulnerable and emotional wasn't the only thing. It was because she showed an unusual side of the pair. Her vulnerability and willingness to share her suffering moved viewers and may serve as an inspiration to those going through tough times.